Hi, my name is Dr. Claudia Rueda. I am the professor of History 3303, Colonial Latin America. In this video, I'm going to go over some important items in the syllabus and some important class policies, and then I'll discuss some of the requirements for your discussion forum participation. Okay, so I encourage you to print the syllabus and to keep a copy of it with all of your class assignments and class pages. At the very top of the syllabus, you'll notice I have just some basic information, including and especially important are my office hours. So this semester I'll be having both virtual and in-person office hours. Virtual office hours will be Tuesday and Thursday from 1 to 3 in the afternoon via Zoom. And in-person office hours will be Wednesday from 9 to 10 at the Garcia Plaza, which is right in front of the library. If you'd like to meet with me this semester, I really am encouraging you, in fact, you need to sign up for a time slot on Calendly. This is just to make the process go smoother and to avoid a lot of bottlenecks, etc. So please, you'll need to sign up to meet with me at least 24 hours in advance or at least the day before. You'll find the link to sign up for office hours on Blackboard in the left-hand column, and it'll say office hours. This course, Colonial Latin American History, is a survey of Latin America from pre-Columbian times to the independence movement. So those of you who have taken classes with me before, especially if you took Modern Latin America last semester, we very briefly went over the colonial period. But this class is a deep dive into that, and I think it's going to be a really wonderful and great class. We'll start off by talking about the Aztec or the Mexica and the Inca. And then we'll talk about Africa before the Spanish come to the Americas, and then we'll talk about what Spain and the Iberian Peninsula look like, and then we'll move to talk about what happens in Latin America during the colonial period. There are two textbooks that you must purchase. The first is a textbook called Latin America in Colonial Times by Matthew Restall and Chris Lane. And the second is a monograph called Malencin's Choices by Camila Townsend. Both of these books are available for purchase at the campus bookstore in University Center, and you already have an assignment based on Malencin's Choices for this week, so you must purchase this book, or if you don't want to purchase it, that's okay. I've put copies on reserve in the library. If you have any problems getting a hold of the book for any reason, please let me know as soon as possible. Your grade this semester is going to be based, 1/4 of it is on discussion posts, 15% is based on a midterm, 40% is based on a research project portfolio, and 20% is based on a final exam. For the research project, I'll be handing out more information about that in the next few weeks, towards the end of February. The midterm, I'll give you a review beforehand or a review sheet to help you, and the final exam as well. Both are going to be essay-based exams. The discussion posts are always going to be due Friday at 11:59 p.m. Each post is worth 15 points, and you need to get it in by Friday at 11:59 p.m. Every week. You'll see also on the syllabus that if you move to page 3, I list what we need to be reading that week and then what the topic of the week is. So make sure you do that reading, the corresponding reading for each week. It's really important, especially in an online class, that you stay on top of things. I'll send out emails, usually on Mondays. This week it'll be on Tuesday because we have Monday off, with a quick intro to what we're going to be talking about, a checklist of what you need to do to remind you, and any other announcements. So make sure it is your responsibility to stay on top of those emails, to make sure that you're reading them and that you know what's going on in the class. I also want to just note that all of your assignments are due at the end of the day, 11:59 p.m. I very clearly will not be checking email at that time. So I put assignments due at 11:59 for maximum flexibility for you all, but I stopped checking email at 3 p.m. So please note that as you are planning to submit assignments, that if something goes wrong, I can't help you if you wait to the last minute. There are some course policies that I'd like to address as well, a few important ones. The first course policy is late work. Because these are exceptional times, I've built in a cushion into the weekly discussion participation posts. I'll drop 3 posts at the end of the semester. Because I'm dropping 3 though, it means I have a very firm late policy. If you do not ask for an extension before the due date, 24 hours before the due date, you can still submit your assignment, but for half credit. So if you find that you're behind, if you find that you need an extension, please ask for it. You don't need to tell me why. Just put in the subject line of the email, request for an extension, and I'll give it to you. But you got to ask for it at least 24 hours in advance. Please, please, I am happy to give you an extension. But once the deadline passes, it's too late at that point. And yeah, it's too late at that point. So please make sure that you are getting your work in on time, or you're asking for help if you need it. I'm happy to accept late work up until the very last class day. Okay, please note I said class day, not the last day of the semester. In academic dishonesty. So in this class, I'm defining plagiarism as taking somebody else's work and words and passing it off as your own. This means, let me give you a very specific rule, that if you take more than 3 words from another source, 3 words, and you keep them in that exact order, and you do not cite the source and you do not put it in quotation, that's plagiarism, and you'll get a 0 for that assignment, and I will report it to academic affairs. So please be very careful. Always cite your work. Always, always cite your work. I don't want to see a single discussion post that does not have a citation in it, okay? Every single post must have a citation. In this class, we'll use Chicago-style footnotes on formal assignments, but on the discussion posts, you can just use parentheticals. So that would mean, like, if you're quoting from or referencing Melanchthon's choices, you can just put the name of the author in parentheses when you finish talking about it. So parentheses Townsend, close parentheses. Another policy I want to draw your attention to is my incomplete policy. This is another firm rule. I don't want to have any discussions about this at the end of the semester. My firm rule is that if you want an incomplete in this class, you must have 60% of the work done by the last class day, and that work must be passing, period. There's nothing more to discuss. That's my rule. Okay, that's the syllabus and the important things I wanted to draw your attention to, although I encourage you to read it carefully and check out the other policies that are in here. I also want to say that I know that these are really difficult times and a lot of things are coming up for students, and in this moment there's a surge of COVID. I really ask, as much as you can, please try to be open with me and to let me know when things are going on early on. It's easier for me to help you and to find solutions if you let me know as soon as stuff comes up. If you wait a month or 2 months, it's often too late to do much, okay? But please know that I am willing and I'm very happy to be to work with students, especially if anything unexpected comes up. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about in this video is your discussion forum posts and instructions. So every week in the weekly folder, I will post a document called Discussion Forum Instructions. I want to ask that you read these instructions very carefully. They may look the same, but there may be small changes that you need to be aware of. When you when you go to post, what you're going to do is create a new thread. And the title of your thread should be the question number that you're addressing. So if you're addressing question 4, the title of your thread should be question 4. You will not be able to see the other students' posts until you post your own new thread. Once you post your new thread, answering your question, following the instructions in the instruction sheet, then you also need to respond to one other student. And I ask that those responses be meaningful. Try not to just put "I agree" or "great point." That's not acceptable and you'll get very little credit for that. It needs to be around 100 words and you need to actually engage with what your classmates are saying. Finally, please always, always, always reference specific information from the reading or from the videos or whatever source and cite it. I never want to see posts that are just conjecture or just based on maybe something you saw on the Discovery Channel. Although if you are referencing something on the Discovery Channel, you need to cite it. These discussion posts need to be grounded in the reading, okay? And they need to be grounded in, if there's a video lecture that week, that too. Or that, I mean. Okay, I think that's all in terms of basic guidelines and instructions for the class. I'm really happy that you're here. I love colonial Latin American history. I look forward to reading your discussion posts. And I look forward to hopefully meeting you in virtual or in-person office hours. So please, if you can, make it a point to try to come to one of those so that we can talk. Okay, thanks. Look out for my email coming up on Tuesday, January, the first day of this semester.